So I thank you all, sisters. And we didn't deliberately introduce ourselves because the next question is the most powerful question out of this discussion. So sisters, I'm gonna give you a heads up. I want you to say your name, who you are, and I also want you to say, what does it mean to be a Black woman in Canada? So let's start with Phoebian.
Thank you. All right. Wow, this is a loaded question. um, because you can either go two ways with this question. You can either go the negative way, or you can go the positive way. And for me, I'm going to see it as a future wise way. So what does it mean to be a Black woman? What should it mean to be a Black woman in Canada? It should mean being treated fairly and given the opportunities to be ourselves in shared spaces, in workspace, in school. I shouldn't have to feel alone when I'm in a classroom at a university with Black girl in the class. It shouldn't be, I shouldn't feel a certain way. It should mean receiving all the resources specific to my needs, that will make us successful. It should mean knowing that the uniqueness of my name, and just being able to pronounce my name properly, and the color of my skin would not disqualify me. Even before you get to hear how intelligent I am, or how my capabilities are limitless. They're beyond anything you could have ever imagined, and that you will never get another worker like me. And so to me, being a Black woman means being courageous, being strong, being bold, and being fearless.
We'll get her to introduce herself. So Allison, can you introduce yourself and what does it mean to be a Black woman in Canada?
So I'm Allison and I have a background in finance. And for me to be what it means to be a Black woman is to strive, it's to be bold, it's to be phenomenal, it's to, succeed, it's to, not just make it through things, but it's to, basically to, should I say, can't get the word out. It's to basically to bloom wherever you're planted. We face a lot of obstacles wherever we go. Sometimes you're the only one in a room full of other people. But wherever we go and whatever challenges we face, and we faced a lot in this country, I think as a Black woman, it's to be phenomenal, and to also just wherever we are, we seem to bloom, and we seem to just, we can take a small thing and make it into a huge successful thing. So to be a Black woman, it's to be inventive, it's to be bold, it's to wear many hats. You could be the carpenter, you could be the mother, the daughter, the friend. It's to be the teacher, to be, the aunt, the comforter. Being a Black woman here, it's wearing many hats and wearing it very well.
Thank you. Vivian, can you give us your name and who you are?
Sure, thank you. So my name is Vivian Come, and I am a courageous Black woman. So to be a Black woman in Canada, it should mean being treated fairly and given the opportunities to be ourselves in shared spaces. It should mean receiving all the resources that we need in order to be successful at everything that we do. And it should mean knowing that the uniqueness of our names and our color and the color of our skin will not disqualify us, even before you get to meet us, and even before we get to show you how brilliant and intelligent we are, how we are limitless when it comes to our abilities and what we're able to do, and how we're able to transform the workplaces, and how we're able to transform schools and everywhere we go. You would never get anyone else as strong and brave as a Black woman.
Thank you. Joan, your name,
Thank you,
who
Christine.
you
Yes.
are, and what it means
This
to
is
be
a
a
loaded
Black woman in
question.
Canada.
Can you hear me? Yeah, this is a loaded question. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a niece. I am an aunt. I'm cousins. And I have some amazing women friends in my life, and I thank God every single day for that. What does it mean? I'm also a social worker, counselor, a community activist. Oh my God, I could go on. For me, as a Black woman in Canada, I basically always go back to Rosa Parks, that courage. So for me, it's about using Rosa Parks as my guide, so I don't back down from no form of challenges. Black woman who is very comfortable within my skin. I love my Blackness, and I do not apologize for being a strong Black woman. And I will never, ever apologize for that either. So for me, living in Canada as a Black woman, there are challenges, but guess what? As I said, I use Rosa Parks as my model. So I always try to come out of those challenges and still be proud of who I am. And I'm here to support my community and anybody else who needs my help in whatever way that I can. And this is basically how I will continue to live my life.
Woo, love it. Thank you. Juliet, tell us who you are and what it means to be a Black woman in Canada.
Hi everyone, I'm Juliet Grant, and I'm a mother of two amazing, wonderful children. And my background is early childhood education. However, at this point, I'm not practicing that. However, doing other things. Being a Black woman in Canada means to be brave. It means that I need to be resilient. It needs to, and I'm a proud Black person in Canada. It also means that I need to be advocating for other Black women. So even in my workplace, I'm usually the only person, in the lunchroom, the only person in the office, So for me, is advocating to get more of me within the workplace. So being a Black woman is being courageous, using my strength to advocate for other people, as well as to make other people proud of being who they are.
We are proud, by the way, Juliet. We are proud. So the next person, Suzette, tell us who you are and tell us what it means to be a Black woman in Canada.
I love this question, actually. Christine, I've never been so hopeful for Black women and to be a Black woman in Canada. Black women can make the most of their knowledge and experience and just like be so powerful in strategic roles in government, corporate, and running profitable businesses. You see, I learned from this group that when a Black woman is given the right tools and support, that she can shape her future into something unique and powerful. And I've seen it in you guys here. And so I guess it's time to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm mom, wife, daughter, auntie, Auntie Sue. And I'm an owner of an award-winning mortgage brokering company where we're experts, actually, we're proud of it, actually, of finding money for new and experienced homeowners. We want to educate and empower investors to get dead money working for them. So we work with clients to do that. We work with clients from all nationalities and gender. And the thing is this, we love working with clients who want more of the good things in life, the good things in owning properties, making investments, and building just a better framework for their future. Even if they're not a homeowner, we still have plans to kind of get them to the next level. Because for us, if we can get them more, they can do more. And that is powerful. And for me, Sisters for Hope is a promise to our community that we will do more to help our community, starting with the Black woman. So join us in keeping our promise to the Black woman today, and visit us at sistersforhope.ca.
Thank you, Suzette. Anne, I can't wait to hear your answer, but please tell us who you are and what it means to be a Black woman in Canada.
Well, I'm Anne Pottinger, and I'm defined by many things. I am a spouse, I'm a nurse, I'm an educator, I'm a sister to many sisters. I would say that the title auntie defines me, because I have those who are blood related and those just who I assume the role of aunties in their life. For me, I embrace multiple aspects of a situation. So being Black in Canada, I believe that one of the things that I will be unapologetic about speaking truth to power. I will be unapologetic about the way I live out my values and my integrity. I am willing to forego positions individually in order to bring the collective to a place, because I will not have arrived at the destination I would hope to be unless we're all there. So one of the things I feel strongly about is celebrating the successes of all people, women especially, and in particular, Black women. So for me, in the workplaces, there's a narrative that people want. I say to you, I am the author of my story. And that's the only narrative that's going to define me, not your narrative of what I or my children or our children ought to be. You will not put parameters around the success that we can achieve. And in honor of my late father, your opinion of me is not necessarily my reality. In bold action, I say, you know, when I'm in administration, I will hire the best person for the job. And just because I'm Black didn't mean that that's why I chose a racialized or a Black person. And I don't have to explain that decision for you. It happens all the time. Why am I to have to explain those situations? So again, I think there are microaggressions in the workplace. The expectations are different. You can get into the boardrooms. However, do you always have an entrance fee? Is there a price to be paid? So I think about what can come from mixing joy with pain, the optimism of hope with what I've learned for the future. And so, as many have said, I have phenomenal hope and as to what a collection of Black women can and will do and achieve. And so I say to any little girl out there, and in particularly Black girls, you don't, we will not, we have walked on shoulders. We have earned through the trauma of others. We've had our own trauma, and our shoulders will be broad enough and strong enough to lay that foundation to make your road smoother. For me, that's what Sisters of Hope is about. And really, together, we shall uplift one another and uplift humanity. And I consider myself so fortunate to have diverse sisters and to serve as the director for Sisters for Hope. Of director of education, I should say, for Sisters for Hope. It's an extreme privilege, and I'm humbled at that opportunity.
Thank you, Anne. Carol, woo, I can't wait to hear your answer. So please, and what it means to be a Black woman in Canada.
Well, Anne has actually said it all. She has summed it all up, really. You know, the only thing I will add is being in my Black skin. And yes, I always identify myself as a Black woman. That means Black comes before everything else. Even if, because again, that's usually how people see you before they recognize that you're a woman. My name again is Carol Mundley. I am a mental health nurse, and I've been in mental health for the last 18 years. And recognizing that mental health, when you look at mental health for Black women, when you look at it, it is quite scary, because again, a lot of times it's not something that is ever spoken about. And for me, I'm always mindful, and I'm always mindful that when I go into a room, I'm going to be the only one. And failure or not, I'm always the only one. So creating space for me, creating space for everyone else who will be walking down the path with me. If they don't want to come down the path, I will be dragging them. Even when I can't carry them, I will be dragging them right along. Because again, creating space for each other, it is the most imperative thing we can ever think about. Until we start making space for each other and lifting each other up. And I keep, I keep hearing it right across the board today, where we're talking about that notion that we pull each other down. Someone could try to pull you down, you take they say turn down the cheek. Believe me, it works. But you also want to make sure that they understand where you're coming from. You say what it is that you need to say to them, but you never ever leave them behind, because again, based on our history, historically, Black women have it's a survival mode. So again, sometimes they're working the best way they know how to survive. So our job is to pull them along, drag them along if possible, because again, all they know is to tear each other down. So one act of kindness sometimes change that entire dynamic for that individual, and it makes that difference. You're walking along the roadway. First thing you see is that someone, say a Black woman or a Black person, greet them. If it's even a youth, even more the reason for you to reach out, acknowledge them. A smile, sometimes something as simple as a smile will go a long way. It doesn't cost anything. The question for me was, how do I see myself here in Canada? Coming here to Canada as an adult was a complete culture shock for me. However, the one thing I always recognize is, and I have heard it several times, where I want to be the author of my own narrative. I never ever want someone else to dictate who I am. And who else can speak for me but me? Who else is capable of speaking for me but me? When I tell people that I am Black first, I'm a Black woman, a strong Black woman who will be unapologetic about being Black. I wear who I am, extremely proud, and working with this phenomenal group of women. It's the one thing I tell you. There's that is I'm passionate about a lot of things, but for me, this is one of the things I'm most passionate about because I see the possibilities that exist and extending it beyond the group of us to the global community is going to make it even stronger. And when saying this, yes, it will be, we're a group of Black women. However, I want to be very, very clear that we're always learning, and we do learn from our other counterparts. And it doesn't matter who you are. You extend and you ask for help, you ask for support. We're always there to support everyone. However, our priority will be Black women, but it doesn't mean that we don't support anyone else. When you, when I always say, when you start lifting, you lift women up, specifically Black women, you lift women up, everyone else benefit around them, everyone. And so we will not be leaving anyone behind because again, together we can make this happen. We can make it possible. The impossible doesn't look impossible. We will not accept the status quo. We cannot accept the status quo.
Wow, Carol, woo, man. Okay, yes, yes, Nicole. So Nicole, I'm gonna ask you the same thing. Can you tell us who you are and what it means to be a Black woman in Canada?
Well, first of all, well, I'm Nicole Waldron, and I'm a Trincan, right? I'm a Trini and I'm a Canadian. So I can't leave my Caribbean roots behind. I am totally multicultural when it comes to it. The whole roots of everything. I am the United Nations standing here. There is no lineage that is not in my bloodline. You can tell by the here. Um, I'm a speaker. I'm a social advocate. I've done event planning for at least 30 years. Um, I'm a podcaster now. The pandemic has changed me into a podcaster. Um, I'm an executive optimist. Um, I'm a confidence coach and I'm a thought leader. And being a Black woman in Canada, it's one of those things that it's a very unique thing, depending on where you come from. Coming from the Caribbean, I was always surrounded with Black women, and I had an aunt who was the first Black parliamentarian in Trinidad. So I was always surrounded by women that were in places. I was always surrounded by women that were hardworking. My grandmother was used to say, if you're going to make sweet bread or sugar cake, make sure you make the best sugar cake. It's not about, it doesn't matter what you're doing, just do your best at it. And I think as a Black woman in Canada, that's the opportunity we have. It's a place where you can have opportunity where even if you don't succeed at one thing, you might have an opportunity for something else. It's an opportunity where you can have mentorship. Um, it's a place where you can either have privilege, and you have to understand where you have privilege and where you don't have privilege as a Black woman. Because in some places you will have privilege, in some places you won't. Um, And it's really, as a Black woman in Canada, seizing the opportunities. My name, Nicole, means victory of the people. And so it's owning that victory of yourself and owning that language. So in as a Canadian, we can speak victoriously. Our language really dictates where we are and where we go into, and supporting one another. Um, I see one thing in Canada, I volunteered a lot. And people would ask me, why are you volunteering so much? You're not getting paid for this, and you're volunteering all your time at, the Co-op Housing Federation. But that volunteering allowed me into certain areas that I would have never gotten into. It taught me leadership. I became the first Black woman in Canada to be the president of this organization that is national. And the key thing for me wasn't just to be the first, was to make sure that there were others coming behind me or alongside me. So it was part of my motive and my opportunity in that sense to make sure that there were other women and men of color in the organization, in leadership. And so when I left that position, I could see in the first place, there's a man who's in that role. Then there's a woman in that role. And now there's an Indigenous woman in the role that I was in. And so that's one of the opportunities. And because of that, what you're going to first announce right here on this thing, it looks like I'm going to be the first woman to sit on the board of the Cooperators Insurance Company. So, but I don't want to be just the first. I want to make sure that door is open. And I understand when Carol says it, and Anne says it, and Allison says it, and Susan, everybody has says it. When you're the first, but we can't just be the first. We have to be the first opening doors. We have to be the first mentoring. Because when we go through those doors, we can't just bring our sisters in or our brothers in and not mentor them, because they need the upliftment of how to navigate the spaces. That's to me the opportunity. One thing here, when you volunteer in Canada, um, you could actually go into places where in the Caribbean, it's all about your degree. And it took me a long time to be comfortable saying, I don't have a degree. I don't have a degree, but I'm in a C-suite, right? Because we're always judged by what we don't have in our education system. And Black women are always judged by this. We're judged by what we wear. And so the to being a Black woman in Canada, it could be an opportunity to just learn, to grow, to embrace who you are, to meet other women in different walks of life, like the woman here, um, the opportunity to work at, I've had the opportunity to work at the Senate of Canada, and I've had the opportunity to work, you know, doing administrative work behind the scenes for anybody. So it can be a place of opportunity. It's just about a place of perspective. And despite the system of racism that is here, we have the opportunity to break the barriers, to continue to, the glass ceiling has been broken, but now we have to clear away the glass so the rest of us don't get cut. And if I see you get cut, I come and apply it. This is to me what it means to be a Black woman in Canada. It is to be that woman that can hold the space for another Black woman. And as I hold space for another Black woman, I hold space for a Black man. And as I hold space for a Black man, I hold space for a Black daughter. I hold space for a Black son. And as we hold the space together, we can continue to rise through the battlefield and stand victoriously and live that victorious life that we were really meant to live. One voice, one vision, coming together, walking in love and walking in unity. It's not going to be easy, but together, as we come together with voices like this and partner with other organizations with the same belief system and not judging each other as women, this is the opportunity to me of being a Black woman in Canada and learning from people like Jean Augustine, Rosemary Sadler, Senator Wanda Thomas Bernard, Viola Desmond, and being a Black woman in Canada is seeing that we have sheroes right here, and I don't have to go there. I don't always have to look to Africa. I don't always have to look to Trinidad, even though I'm from there. I can see women here like all of you, that I'm able to do what I'm doing because you opened the door somewhere that I may not even know, but we're just 6 degrees of separation. So hopefully I answered the question. And Christine, my sister, my beautiful sister, tell us about you and what does it mean for you to be a Black woman in Canada?
Thank you. I am just in awe with all of these you powerful sisters. It's just amazing. I'm Christine Macklin. I am a mother, a daughter, a granddaughter. I am, a grandmother. I am a wife. I have so many identities, but my daytime job is that I'm a human rights director for a trade union, Unifor across this country. But I also am a volunteer. I advocate for migrant workers' rights. I advocate for women, gender-based violence. I advocate against trying to paint every woman the same. What it means to be a Black woman in Canada is the multi-diversity that we possess. Whether you're a trans Black woman, whether you are a Black woman with disabilities, whether you are a Black Indigenous woman, there's so many compounds and diverse perspectives that I advocate on in being a Black woman in Canada. But what I am not is I am not an angry Black woman. I am passionate, I am driven, I am determined, I work hard, and I do not get anything given to me. So everything we have has been earned over and over and over again. You know, I think about power, and I don't think of power in the context that everyone else thinks of power. But there are 3 key components to being a Black woman and why Black women have been disproportionately injustice over time. It's the fact that we have been denied the resources. We have been denied the networks. We have been denied the opportunities. And this is why I love Sisters for Hope, because we are providing those networks. We are providing those opportunities. We are providing the ear, the heart, the body to be able to make real changes. I'm done asking for a seat at a table in a boardroom. I'm done saying that I'll bring a seat. Hell, Black women are going to rebuild the building that the boardroom is in, and we'll make sure that all of our voices and everyone else's voices are there so that we can make the communities the way we need to make them. So I just can't stress it enough that, I'm a proud Black woman, that my proud Black father, before he passed, said to me, you will make change and don't ever forget where you came from. So I will hold that true as my dad's legend, that I will never forget where I've come from my struggle, from all of the things that many of you Black women are going through, that we all have gone through, and we'll build together, because I'm done taking a seat. We're building the boardroom and the building. So last but not least, I'm going to ask for any last thoughts, and I am not going to call names out because we are phenomenal and we make space for each other and we will grow together. So I am going to ask for maybe a last few words from everyone on here. So whoever would like to go first, go ahead.
I'm excited to see what we're able to achieve. And I think together, we all each offer our own unique perspectives and talents. And I think together we can create something really special.
Okay, I'm going to go. Last thought, keep your hope alive. And with Sisters for Hope, we hope that you will join us on this journey, whether as a volunteer, whether as a supporter, whether as a sponsor, whether you have an organization that empower women, and let's see how we can come alongside together. For the saying goes, many hands make light work. So let's make light work together in this powerful movement. And it's not that, and I want to say this, it's not that we want to eliminate men. um, my goddaughter always reminds me. She did a beautiful poem, and I have to pull it up because she says, I'm not a feminist, because feminism was brought out of the white movement to eliminate Black women. And so we have to remember that as Black women. We have to remember to hold space for each other. And so we're here to make sure that as a Black woman, I am my sister, I am my sister's keeper. And together, all women, as we come together, we're stronger together than apart. And no need to fear us, because we're not. Christine, I'm not the angry Black woman. Just saying.
And I would say, um, what resonates for me is that we will create, co-create, and build the buildings that need to be built, and take on and build the enterprises that we need to be in, and we will not continuously request seats at tables. That's important. And yes, we as Black women, or at least me, we have a variety of emotions. The issue is your narrative or anybody's narrative of the angry Black woman. And even when we have a perspective that may be different, doesn't mean that we're angry. Yet at the same time, given the history of trauma and the different intersections, why would you deny people of reasonable emotions to unprecedented historical situations? So I don't like to be constructed as angry. However, I feel like I should have the privilege of expressing my emotion of anger when needed. And you can check with me to know when that's the case.
I don't mind going next, Christy. Okay, so for me, yes, people seem to think that we Black women are angry, but we're not. We're actually very passionate Black women, and we have a right to be. And for me, I would like to see Sisters for Hope. We're just starting, but I would like to see it is really a space that will actually bring sisters together, more sisters. And everyone should feel welcome, respected, because everyone have a voice. And I would really like to see we as Black women recognize and understand, and I will use the word again, that we have worth, we have value, and we should love ourselves in every way and be proud of who we are. We have a lot to offer our community and the broader community, and a lot of us are already doing that, and I know we will continue to do that. I believe in fairness, equality, and I will always, always fight against oppression. I will not tolerate it, neither for myself nor for anyone else. And that is all I have to say.
Well, sorry, go ahead, Julie.
Hi. So Sisters for Hope will be a place where Black women can come to unite with each other in a non-judgmental, in an informal as well as formal place that they can garner resources and also have education so that they can lead a more fulfilling and a more happy life through their well-being. So that's my piece in presenting of what Sister for Hope will be doing. Not when or what, we will be doing that to make sure that there's a space for all our sisters to unite and to come together just for them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I guess I'll go next. One of the things that I really want to just to say again, we too often we have spaces and we will start, you will have, or in different spaces will will be created, but it not necessarily welcoming. One of the things that we as a corporation is always cognizant about is to ensure that everyone is always treated as an individual. We have individual needs, we are different. We're the same, but we're different. And because of that, it's important to also treat people the way you want to be treated. So one of the things that I'm proudest about is always looking at the way we respect each other. And I guarantee you, anyone else who will be a part of this, who will walk in and to be a part of this organization, will also feel exactly that they're always valued. Everyone has an opinion and an ability, because again, we're not starting from the same place. And one person might be able to write, another person might not be able to write, but they can make calls. The other person can, other people can do different things. So we all have different abilities and we're all starting at different places. So being valued and being respected for your individuality, and to know that you as a person, the priority is always looking at you as an individual, not just as being put in with a group and to say you're a part of that group. Being valued, we see what it looks like in the workplaces, in the labor movement, and in the different various communities. The difference for Sisters for Hope is you're not just coming in on your own, you're coming in with hope. The hope of knowing that you have a place is there for you. This is a place where you belong. And moving forward, we we're, the hope is that it will trickle down to not just yourself, but to each and every person who you will come in contact with. And again, we're not oblivious to think that we can do everything, because we know we can't do everything. However, we will aspire to do as many things as we possibly can. Again, with your help, your support, and your resources, sky is the limit.
I'll go next. My final words would be, um, I implore you and encourage you to come alongside of us and come and take this journey of a Black woman, see her grow, see her get born, see her in her infancy, see her in her toddler age, see her as a child, see her as a teenager, and come to see her as an adult. Come to be part of that journey that she would take, as she grows, as she blooms into this beautiful flower. I implore you to come on board and be part of it. You have so much to put into this organization as well, and to take out of it. Come with humility and leave with boldness and strength and confidence, knowing that, the sky is the limit.
I love that. I love it. The boldness. Have you been silenced anywhere in society, in your workplace? Have you been rushed? Have you been undermined? Have other people taken your ideas and presented them as their own, and then they're acknowledged? Listen, this organization is about building and supporting and encouraging Black women to be leaders in all capacities in society. We need to know and see ourselves as leaders, because we are. It doesn't matter if you're volunteering, or if you are at a church, or if you're participating at a school, or if you go to work all day because you're trying to provide for your family. You are a leader, and we need to own how phenomenal we are. This organization, Sisters for Hope, is exactly that. And one of our phenomenal sisters is not actually on here because she is extremely busy. Angela, we love you. We know that you are a part and we can't wait till everybody meets you.
The invitation came in and I read Sisters for Hope bylaws, and I was really impressed by her vision for equity and fairness for marginalized Black women. Specifically, I was so interested in the mission, to use education and advocacy to advance, common interests that would improve the personal and professional life of Black women in our communities. And I was also intrigued by how we would use education and advocacy. And I thought, together, we could raise voices, raise collective consciousness, I should say, on the issues that perpetuate, the dynamics that disadvantage Black women in our communities.
Thank you very much for that. And it's quite interesting because it is part of the vision to continue empowering and lifting up Black women. And as we know, through education, when you teach a Black woman anything, it trickles right down the road. Exactly. It trickles down to every child, every other person, whether it's a man, woman, it doesn't matter who it is. So it transcends right across all generations, as we know. Okay, great, thank you for that. And could you tell me a bit about yourself? Who is Angela?
Wow, I'm still trying to figure that out, and it's 52 years and counting. Who am I? I know I'm passionate by heart. I do have a love for, helping. I have a soft spot in my heart for people who are marginalized. I know what it is to be marginalized. I know what it is to deal with inequities and unfairness and injustices and just not having the resources to meet the demands of life. As a Black woman, as previously a single mother raising a child by myself, I know and I understand those struggles. And so I think that my lived experiences really helped me to be compassionate to others and to want to show compassion as well. In terms of, being there to help in any capacity I can. Because there were people that helped me along the way. And so I guess my existence really is to really make a difference, to leave a legacy behind. And I think the way I look at life is that I need to always be growing and learning and being a better person, working with integrity. And my moral compass is really important to me. That's grounded in my faith. And, that keeps me on the straight. And that's, in a nutshell, that's who I am, I think. Or I'm trying to become a better version of myself, actually.
Great. Great, thank you very much for that. And the very fact that you mentioned, you mentioned someone else paved that way for you. So standing on the shoulders of others. And right across the board, we've heard that resonate with a lot of people. So tell me, if you had that magic wand, what is your vision itself for Sisters for Hope? What is your vision?
My vision, I think, right now is grounded in what's happening, to Black women, Prior to the COVID pandemic, Black women in Canada faced the highest employment rate among white women. And I was looking at, an article that came out recently, and they looked at statistics back in November. And the employment rate for minority women was 10.5% in November, compared with 6.2% for white women. This is according to Statistics Canada. Women of color had a slightly higher employment rate than their male counterpart, who had a jobless rate of 10%. When Canada reopened the economy, 80% of the job loss that was heightened in the midst of the COVID, a lot of people were able to regain employment. But for minority women, specifically Black women, many of them have not returned to work. We're seeing these inequity, and we're seeing how it's impacted, Black women per se. And one of the reasons that I notice for that, which is very interesting, and I think that's my goal, that being a part of this organization who is, focusing on, that population, primarily Black women, is that we will look at how we could address these current issues that are happening right now, because the barriers for Black women are basic things like affordable internet and childcare, right? And so you look at these basic things that are barriers, and you wonder, well, what could be done about this? How could we raise this awareness? How could we advocate, for this marginalized population? And, they have been impacted way before COVID. So COVID only sort of exacerbates the situation right now. That's kind of like my hope, that we would focus on the current issues that are impacting Black women, because there's nothing for me personally when, I'm looking for a job, somebody helps me to, build a resume, rather than helping me to do something else or providing a service to me that I might not need at the time. So I feel like, if Sisters for Hope could narrow in on the current issues that are facing Black women today, and looking at how we could make a difference in their life.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. So that was the end of my questions. However, if you could leave one message that you could leave for everyone listening around, your message that you just did, the message that you just did. If there's one thing that you could leave regarding support for this organization, what would that one message be from you?
I know it sounds cliche, but this is always the message that I always try to take for myself when when information is presented to me, or when a situation is presented to me, and that is to be the change you want to see. A lot of times, like my grandmother always says, don't be a part of the temperature, be the thermostat. And basically what she was saying to me was that, you don't have to go along with, the trend that you think isn't right or isn't working for the greater good or for everyone, but, be the change that you want to see around you. And that would be my message, is that where you see that there are injustices, or where you see that we could be of hope to someone in need, be that helping hand.
Great, thank you very much for that. And that the message from Sisters for Hope is be that hope you want to see.
So please be a part of Sisters for Hope, because our hope and our change is coming. And I'm telling you, it's better to be a part of the movement than left behind.
No woman should have to go through life challenges on her own when it comes to social health and wealth. And sometimes a Black woman goes through these issues, even if she's in a relationship. A Black woman has been labeled a fighter, and she has come to survive against all odds. She's unselfish. It is time for her to be able to live a life with ease and fulfillment. Sisters for Hope is a focused effort where we'll be highlighting key resources to help pave a way for the Black woman. Sisters for Hope is going to educate, motivate, and inspire that Black girl, helping them see how they can create better futures for themselves, their children, and their community. Visit us at sistersforhope.ca and donate, be a part of the journey with us. Help us keep our promise to that Black woman. Help us keep that promise to you. Thank you.